Today, for our little trip out into the local countryside, I've come to Witley Court in Worcestershire. Now, 100 years ago, this was one of the most impressive, stately homes in the country, hosting lavish hunting parties and extravagant balls. But then, something happened here in the 1930s that has given this place a rather different distinction. Now, Witley Court has a sombre, almost menacing air. Just look at that. That's haunting. A devastating fire ripped through the east wing in 1937, and in the space of one September's night, everything changed. This photograph was taken the next morning. Rescued contents can be seen heaped on the steps outside. One witness said, "We sat on the edge of the fountain watching the court burn. I remember seeing all the red drapes dropping and burning." The building burned for most of the night. It was terrible to see. Although a large portion of the house was untouched by the fire, this was the beginning of the end. To learn more, I'm meeting Anna Pearsall from English Heritage, which manages the building and keeps it open to the public. So how did it start?
Well, this is actually where the fire started, here in the East Tower.
So that tower acted like a flue,
It
I
did,
guess.
yeah. Just underneath, in the basements, that's where the bakery was, and that was where it originally started. Spread up through the tower, aided by strong wind as well, just went straight over to the east side and completely destroyed all the lavish side of the house, unfortunately. All the ballroom, the dining room, royal apartments, everything.
You imagine a fire this size, pretty intense. It would have been seen for miles away, surely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's reports from people who said that they were in the village of Great Witley, which is, a few miles away, and they said they could see the smoke for days.
So was it all hands at the pump, really? Was there much fire equipment here, sort of safety equipment?
The fire engine actually came in, parked over the hydrant, and the staff, weren't equipped enough. They were inexperienced, didn't know what to do in the event of it. And the other thing is that things weren't maintained. So, the hydrant wasn't actually working properly at the time.
You can see traces of the fire still, can't you, in the timbers?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's only a little bit of wood left.
You can see where it actually revealed quite a few old features of the house. If you look over to this side, that's where a Jacobean window was actually opened up by the fire.
Gosh.
So it reveals an external wall of the house there. There is another feature as well, the 17th century window edge there as well. So as you look, it does reveal quite how old this property is.
It's sort of peeling back the layers of the fabric of the building, isn't it, over the centuries?
It's a lot older, the house is, than people think. It was actually 1086.
Was it really?
Yeah, the first manor house built here, and it's just been adapted.
And then everybody's left their mark, every owner of the house.
Absolutely, extended it on and made it more grand over the years.
Well, shall we take a further wander?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, this is the ballroom, or what's left of it.
Exactly. There's a lot of charred timbers in here. You can see this was where the fire really would have been at its hottest, really.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the most lavish room of the house.
You can imagine, well, I'm imagining now sort of cut glass chandeliers hanging everywhere. Crystal.
They had 8 crystal chandeliers hanging from the ceiling in here. You can imagine how lively and how vibrant it would have been back in its day, in its heyday.
They'd have had lots of parties here, wouldn't they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when the Earl actually inherited the house and moved in on his 21st birthday party, they actually had a 3-day event.
Gosh, that's
here.
a bash, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
But all the opulence quickly vanished. A year after the fire, the owners sold all the contents in a huge 8-day auction. Well, I've been to a lot of auctions in my time, but nothing as impressive as this one would have been on Monday, the 26th of September, 1938, when all the contents was put out on display here and sold on the spot. It is quite incredible. It's fascinating reading. Unfortunately, there are no price guides, but this is quite interesting. Lot number 76, and you can hear it. It's right behind me. This immense fountain. There's 2 here, and I'd imagine they didn't actually sell because they're so big. Who would want to dismantle that and take them away? And thankfully, they've been restored by English Heritage and are in full working order. This one was designed by Nesfield and carved by James and William Forsyth. It's phenomenal, isn't it? Witley Court changed hands a few times in the subsequent 20 years, and the decline continued. The house fell into disrepair. Many of the fittings, including marble fireplaces, leadwork and stone ornaments, were stripped out and sold. It was a sad time for the house that had been a model for the English country home. During the 1950s and 60s, the whole estate was threatened with demolition several times, amid plans of turning the place into a Grand Prix circuit, a housing estate, and even a caravan park. But it survived all of that. And in 1970, the house and the grounds were designated an ancient monument. And thank goodness, because now it's safe.